The Florida Podcast Network, the voice of Florida.
This is episode 14B of the Finding Florida podcast on the Florida Podcast Network. Holiday magic, Florida style.
We hope you're ready for an adventure. Let's get this show on the road.
Welcome to Finding Florida, the podcast that takes you from country to the coast. Join your tour guides, an unlikely pair, city girl Jemmy and country boy Glenn, as they explore the amazing sights and sounds of the Sunshine State.
In the last episode, we gave you a holiday preview that included our inaugural Finding Florida gift guide. Great gifts by Floridians versus goofy gifts for Floridians. If you missed it, go back and take a listen to episode 14A.
And you also don't want to miss us looking back at our first year of the Finding Florida podcast on episode 13C.
In this episode, we get into the Christmas spirit by revisiting the Bonnet House for their holiday celebration and discover some of the coolest and most Florida of Christmas trees you could ever imagine. We hit up the Delray Beach Playhouse for the 1940s radio hour, a play with music. We find ourselves with my son Jordon in the middle of a 100-foot Christmas tree and experience some adventure fails along the way. And best of all, I take Glenn to CHOICH.
And don't forget that the pictures and videos of all our escapades for this episode are found at our show notes at findingfloridapodcast.com and on all our social media. The holiday music you hear throughout this episode was recorded at the Delray Beach Playhouse's show, and you'll hear more about that later. It's Friday, December the 7th, and this adventure is about to begin.
Jingle, jingle, jingle. We have a show to do, and we're going to do a good job.
We're on Sunrise Boulevard on the way to the Bonnet House, which is right along the beach, and we are stuck at the drawbridge, letting a whole bunch of ships go through.
It is a common occurrence here
We're
in
about,
South Florida.
2 blocks away from the
can
ocean, and we
see
can't get there!
We could touch it, we could taste it, we could feel it, and it's still so far away because this drawbridge is apparently taking forever. But
there were boats backed up for a mile to go under this drawbridge. And then we just waited for the train.
I know.
It's like, this is part of what happens when you get to South Florida,
exactly.
isn't it?
Planes, trains, and automobiles. It all seems to get in your way. But we are about to turn right onto Burr Street to take us to the home of the Birches, the original Birches, the Bonnet House. And we're excited because we got to see them on our Fancy in Fort Lauderdale trip. And Monica invited us up back to check out the holidays and what they're doing there. So we can't wait to talk to Monica.
And it's very Christmassy. There's Christmas decorations all around down here.
That's true.
It's
true.
Very cool.
We celebrate the holidays down here in South Florida.
Yes.
Despite the temperatures.
Despite the temperature being 85 degrees.
All right, drawbridge. I can't wait anymore. Somebody has to go to the bathroom, and I'm not cleaning it up. I'm not cleaning it up.
There's a crane going under the...
There is!
There's a crane going by.
There's a big old giant steel dinosaur headed underneath the drawbridge. Right? I have a feeling it's going to be a while, guys. Sorry, Monica.
We're late.
Join us for our second annual Holiday Magic week-long celebration. Get into the holiday spirit with beautiful sights, sounds, and tastes, with day and night tours, live entertainment, and something for everyone. For more information, visit bonnethouse.org.
Well, we are back at a place that we loved.
Yes.
Which adventure was it?
It was found in the Fancy in Fort Lauderdale. I think it was like adventure number 8, if I remember correctly, something like that. And it was so much fun, and we had a great time here at the Bonnet House. So Monica was so kind to tell us, you got to come back during the holidays. So here we are to check out the Bonnet House for the holidays. Monica, tell us what's going on here for the holidays.
Well, we have our second annual Holiday Magic. And what takes place, it's a week-long event. We kick off with a soiree on Friday night, and then we had 500 people attend the soiree, which was fantastic. We have 65 trees, wreaths, and centerpieces decorated, and they're
beautiful. You took us on a tour. They're just beautiful. And creative.
Yes,
yeah, there's some fun ones.
Designers that come in and design the trees, and then we sell the trees throughout the week, and we have live entertainment every night. It's just a wonderful event.
Oh, my gosh.
And for those of you that heard that first episode, this place is made to party. And it's made for the holidays, too, because you can decorate it so well.
Yes, it's very true. I mean, the colors are so vibrant here. And then you've got these beautiful trees and the red and the green and the white lights and
Remind everybody what the Bonnet House is in case they missed that first episode.
Absolutely.
What is this property? And to give us a little sense of why this is so fantastic for events and the holidays. Yeah.
Oh, yes. It is a great setting. We're here on 35 acres right on Fort Lauderdale Beach. We've got the water, the ocean to the east, and our intracoastal to the west.
And hotels all around.
Yes. And high rises.
Yeah. You are truly a little dot right in the middle of all these hotels. It's a beautiful piece that managed to stay.
It is exactly what it was in the 1930s and 40s is what you experience when you come onto the property here at Bonnet House. We've got trees and it's just stunning. The house is
so lush.
It really
so
is.
Peaceful here. That's the big word I come on all the time. It's just peaceful. I mean, we've seen all kinds of squirrels running around. It's like a fairy tale. I saw a raccoon. I was like, wait a minute, that raccoons are scary. No, this one was just minding its own business, having a good time. So there's just, and so the people can come here, they can get tours of the whole entire house. But if they come during the holidays, what's something special they're going to see?
Well, they see that the property lit up at night and they see all the trees, wreaths, and centerpieces throughout the house. So they get to go. We really don't offer self-guided tours very often, and this is one of those times that we do. So the entire week we offer evening tours and we have live entertainment.
That's it. You have entertainers too, carolers and stuff?
Yes. Actually, tonight we have Victorian carolers dressed in Victorian costume wandering the grounds singing.
And that does bring you back to the early 1900s, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
It really, really does.
So the whole event for the holidays was kicked off with the soiree, and then you've had other performers that you mentioned. What are some of the other performers that have shown up here during the holidays?
Well, we've had the Broward Center Spotlights, which are 20 children from the Broward Center that perform Christmas carols. And then we've also had the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida last night, which was fantastic. 35 men performing. We also had the First Presbyterian Children's Choir, which was quite lovely. And we had the Steel Away, which are steel drums. It's a mother and son that perform steel drums.
Oh, wow. That would be super awesome.
Yeah, I hope you had them out in the courtyard. That would be cool. That would be cool in the courtyard. The echoing would be cool out there.
It was awesome.
There's nothing more coastal than the sound of steel drums. I mean, my God.
Agreed. That's why we did it.
And speaking of coastal, some of the trees that are made around here, I mean, there's so many Florida details in them.
Yes.
Like, we saw starfish that are in them and snowmen painted out of shells. It's so neat. Where do these trees come from?
So these trees come from different designers is how it works. We supply them the trees and then they'll put all of the design and decoration onto the trees and donate them back to Bonnet House. And then we sell them throughout the week. And people
are buying the whole tree.
Exactly.
All the ornaments. And these are the kind you would see in mansions.
Not just the ornaments. Let's talk about the really interesting part about these trees. They get a little extra on some of these with little bottles of wine.
Yes. Liquor. Hard liquor. And top hats.
Yes, I love the top hats.
Yes.
Actually, I'll buy that tree for Wendy. I love that tree. So, do you know from the history who used to own it? Remind everybody who built this and who owned it.
Hugh Taylor Birch actually bought 3 miles of beachfront property in the late 1800s and gave 45 acres originally to his daughter Helen Birch when she married artist Frederick Clay Bartlett. And then he designed the house and they built it together.
And he did the painting inside and
the murals, the balustrades,
some of the eclectic stuff.
Yes.
But do you have any history or know anything about how they celebrated the holidays?
It's interesting. They didn't really celebrate the holidays here. They celebrated it in the Northeast where they lived.
Because this was kind of
their exactly.
Yeah.
So they came down after Christmas.
Exactly.
Yeah. I remember that. It's so interesting. There's so much history here, and it feels like you guys are breathing in just a lovely essence of Florida holidays. I love it here. I love it. Thank you so much, Monica. This is a beautiful place.
Thank you.
Where can people find out about it? Can they still come till Christmas this year? Okay.
Tonight is the last one.
Tonight's the last one, but they still can come and do the tours. You're open.
We're going to have the trees, wreaths, and centerpieces up through the end of the year, the 29th of December. So yes, they can come and see, and we still have them for sale, so they can purchase as well.
And let's make a good point about all these events and everything. A lot of this stuff got sold out, and it got sold out pretty darn quick. So look for your calendar in 2019 because you want to sign up really fast and get those tickets for all of these amazing events and everything. It's magical here. It's super magical.
Agreed. And you just go on to our website at bonnethouse.org to purchase the tickets, or you can call us at 954-563-5393.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, la 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 la. 'tis the season to be jolly.
So we are with Richard here at the Bonnet House, and we told him we're going to
our long lost friend,
That's
Richard,
true.
who gave us a wonderful tour last time we were here.
Yeah, you can hear that on the past episode.
Yeah, I think it's like episode 8B. Sounds right to me. I don't know, I'm making it up. But
Look at the one where we did Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, fancy in Fort Lauderdale.
But Richard, we just mentioned that we're going to
Serendipity Restaurant, and it's at the Boca Raton Resort, but it's not the original one. And when we were talking about it, Richard's like, wait a minute, my favorite dessert is from there.
So I think it was from New York City. I used to go in Manhattan. And it's a great dessert. It's served in a tumbler, and it's
what's it called?
It's called a frozen hot chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like that. It's like if you took a hot chocolate, you froze it. It's kind of slushy. It's topped with delicious whipped cream, maybe a cherry on top, and it just melts in your mouth.
Oh
it is the best.
We
dessert.
haven't been there, so is this like it's truly a restaurant filled with desserts?
The one up in the Boca, I do not know, but the one in Manhattan, it has a bunch of like little gift items in the front when you walk in, and then there's tables downstairs and tables upstairs, and it's like an old type of soda fountain almost, marble tabletops and old wrought iron chairs, and it's always crowded.
Oh man!
Well, we can't wait.
I can't
That'll
wait because as soon as I saw it, as an option for what we could do on this trip, I'm like, "Oh, Glenn's gonna die." This is gonna be so great. Yes, frozen hot chocolate. Here we come.
I'm sure you're gonna love it. Think of me when you eat.
Oh, we will. Thank you so much, Richard. We'll send you one, but it'll probably melt by the time he gets here.
Before we let Richard go, one of the cool things about living in Florida is we can talk to people, and everybody for here is from somewhere else.
Yeah.
So we talk about something that's in New York City, and you knew it.
Yes.
It's one of the cool things about living in Florida.
It's true. Yes. People from all over.
From all over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you
it's a
see
melting
it
pot.
giving tours here. I mean, my God.
We see people from all over the world every day here.
Yeah.
It's truly amazing.
Especially during this time of year, I imagine.
Especially during this time of the year. Lots of cruise ships coming and going. People are always coming here before a cruise, after a cruise, or telling their friends about it.
Absolutely.
I forgot that we're so close to the port.
I know, we are.
All right, thanks, Richard.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Good to see you again.
Enjoy. Bon appetit.
Woo!
Merry measure, la 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 la. Twilight tale of Yuletide treasure, la 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 la.
We're in the parking lot of the Bonnet House, and as always happens in Florida, you meet people. And you find people from all over the world in Florida, and we have met them at our travels the last year.
Yeah.
But we have Karen and Peter, who are from England. And you've been how long here in Florida?
We've been here now about 14 days.
So you're touring. You don't live here. You don't come here. You're not a snowbird.
No, not at all. Although we are sort of not technically snowbirds, but we've come for the warmth.
Smart lady.
Very smart. And you're doing something interesting. You're touring houses.
We are, yes.
And you have the oldest houses in the world there in England, and the biggest houses in the world.
Castles, even. You have castles.
We've seen quite a few of those in the UK, and we just thought when we come over here, we don't just want to see. In Florida, we don't just want to do Disney. We want to see what.
Although,
Florida's
from what I've
all
heard,
about.
You've done Disney a lot.
We have done Disney
with your kids.
It's obligated.
Yeah.
It's an obligation.
Probably about 15 or 16 times.
Yeah.
So, what about the houses you've seen?
You went to Flagler Museum just now, right?
We did, yes.
That's Flagler Museum down here.
In West Palm.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. That was suggested to us actually by somebody. We went on another house tour. And they said to us, you must go to the Flagler Museum. So the following day, we went straight there. And it's astounding. Absolutely beautiful. And it's all done up for Christmas at the moment. So
wow.
It's really, really pretty.
What's that like to come to Florida? Is it a good experience to be able to just go off on a whim and say, okay, then today we'll go to Flagler Museum? And is that something that you're really able to take advantage of down here in Florida?
Yeah. We've got a car, and we realised that you don't walk anywhere in
No, you realise that pretty quick.
Like London, no.
So we hired a car, and we just thought, right, let's just look at the map, look at Google, see what's available, and point the car in that direction and drive.
Tell us about some of the houses you've been to in Florida.
Well, last year we were St. Pete's Beach, and we went to the Stetson House, which is now owned by a couple who do out every room in the house differently for Christmas.
Oh, wow.
And it was amazing. And it's a beautiful, beautiful house. I don't know what era you would call it, but it really was beautiful. So that was one of our first where we thought That's really great. And then when we came down to South Fort Myers Beach, where we've just been staying, before we came, I found the Edison Ford winter homes.
Wow.
Edison and Ford were great friends, apparently, and they live next door to each other.
So Peter, I'm going to ask you, if you could choose any of these houses you've seen so far to live in, which would you choose?
Probably the Edison house.
That is the wrong answer. The answer is whichever Karen wants.
Well, I know she'd have trouble cleaning the big one.
Okay.
There you go. That's a perfect answer.
I want to make it easy for her.
I'd have servants.
Way to turn it around there, buddy.
But to be fair, she looks at old houses and I like the car museums.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's
We
quite
have a few here.
Yeah.
So we alternate. So this morning was a car museum, this afternoon
Are you
was
into
this
the
old house.
antiques, the hot rods, or what?
Well, I went to Muscle City because last year they were moving it when we came.
Yes.
So it was closed.
It's not too far from here, is it?
It's on the west coast.
On the west coast. Okay.
And in Punta Gorda.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then we went to the Collier Museum in
He was
Naples.
drooling all the way.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And they're different. Collier Museum is racing cars from all the eras.
Yeah.
Muscle City's Corvettes,
Mm-hmm.
which I particularly like.
Yeah.
And this morning was Packards.
Yeah.
Yes.
Classic museum.
That's
Nice
right.
to see a bit of history of America there.
Well,
Yeah.
that's great. Well, we're glad you guys
It's like
are
you
here.
said, you're seeing what you guys gave up 200 years ago.
Yes.
That was a good line, by the way. That was good. I
It's-
don't think you voluntarily gave it up.
But, it happens.
We might buy it back.
There you go.
You might be able to.
The discount.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Karen and Peter.
Thank you.
Twilight tale of Yuletide treasure. La 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 la.
Well, everybody, we are con artists, apparently.
I am. I think I pulled that off.
Yeah, you did pull that off. So we wanted to go to the Serendipity restaurant, which is at the Boca Resort,
Boca
right?
Raton Resort and Hotel.
yeah.
I mean, super fancy,
like-
which is what I should have thought of before.
She didn't think about the fact that to be security and the only way you could get in is if you knew somebody.
I was all excited, especially after talking to Richard again. He got me even
Yeah, we
more
just
pumped
played
up
his
for
interview.
the frozen hot chocolate. And so, essentially, guys, if you don't know anything about Boca Raton, and I grew up there, right? I don't usually admit that, but I did. But Boca Raton is known for being high end and super swanky and exclusive
Palm Beach.
this, exclusive that, exclusive this. Everybody wants to be exclusive, and it didn't occur to me that a restaurant that's at the Boca Raton Resort Hotel would require you to pass like security checks to get into it. So we get up to the gate, and there are these two, not just one security guard. First of all, I just want to say, Country Boy Glenn, not used to gated anything.
No.
So we get up, unless it's to keep horses.
I thought
That's the only
about,
gates
I
he's
came
used
out
to.
first with we're here to meet somebody at the restaurant, but then they said who, and it was like, oh.
I know, so the first thing I thought to do was to pull out my phone, look up an email of somebody, so I threw them a name and...
Before you go too far, I have to compliment you. You took time looking up the email.
I
Made them
did.
wait.
I wanted it to be believable. Like I didn't know, I couldn't remember the name of the person, so I came up with a name and
it was some
spelled
dumb name,
it
too.
and
Like
everything.
Goldstein
Well,
or
don't.
something.
Actually, it is a legitimate person.
Oh.
I did. So we won't say whose name I threw, but I'll just be honest. One of the guards, she was a fellow sister, and I think she saw me struggling. She's like, we're just gonna let
she
these.
looked it up and said they're not.
She
we don't have
pretended to
them.
look it up.
Yeah.
We tried to bribe. First of all, we tried to bribe them with saying, "We'll bring them back a frozen hot chocolate for them." I said, "1 frozen hot chocolate, 2 straws."
Oh,
yeah,
they knew
baby.
They knew we were messing with them.
So she pretended to look up something. She's like, "Oh yeah, you know what? I think I checked them in earlier. It was really weird. They're not in the system. Go right ahead."
And then we get up to the valet, and it's like $40 to park at the valet. You figured the valet parking was going to cost more than the dessert.
So, Serendipity, your reputation precedes you. However, we have no review.
We didn't have any dessert. Because
This one fell through, guys.
We kind of figured it would cost us about $100 to park and have 2 desserts.
I mean, come on. I'll go home, make some hot chocolate, and then freeze it. We'll call it a day.
Well, we still needed some sweets, and food, because we were hungry.
Oh, God, at this point, we were starving.
And Jemmy had never been to a Texas Roadhouse, which is one of my favorite restaurants.
Yes.
So we went to Texas Roadhouse, and we had the best time. We had the best server. We had great
We had
food.
a great time. They were all dressed in ugly Christmas sweaters.
Yes.
It was fantastic. And side note, dude, malls are dying. I mean, it is the holidays. It is weekends before Christmas. Used to be packed, and honest to God, every car that was parked at the mall was just overflow parking for the restaurants. Well, shout out to Texas Roadhouse and Boynton Beach. Y'all were fantastic. And Kristen, our server, was amazing. And that's another thing. So we talked to Richard about knowing Serendipity up in New York, the original restaurant, and Kristen, our server, was from Massachusetts, and then the manager, whose name we didn't catch, was saying, yeah, she's like one of 3 new people within the last week. Massachusetts, Indiana, and I forget the third place.
Yeah.
But they're all coming down here. Like, dude, that is the story of Florida during the holidays. Yep. It's everybody from everywhere else coming here. And
I will say, we had great steak and we had cheesecake.
But unfortunately, everyone who comes here spends a lot of more money than we were willing to at the Fancy Boca Raton.
Apparently.
At the Fancy Boca Raton Resort Hotel.
And funny is, they didn't offer us free dessert.
You'd a thinker. Oh, well, whatever.
We tried. You win some when you're traveling, and you lose some when you're traveling.
Exactly.
But we ended up with great food at Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, it was so good. And yet again, another drink as big as my face.
Yes. Flintstone Media has been the digital bedrock of several Florida brands and businesses, serving as a highly resourceful website and podcast production house since 2010. Ready to be seen? Flintstone Media has crafted the online presence for dozens of brands. In creating an intelligently built website that acts as your business's beacon, Flintstone Media will craft solid and attractive content to control your brand's message, collect visitor data, and showcase what you have to offer. Ready to be heard? Work with a leader in Florida's podcasting industry and add a podcast to your brand's content offerings. From setup through recording and distribution, Jemmy will lend her experience producing over 500 episodes and make the process of creating your show simple and easy for you. Visit flintstonemedia.com for website and podcast samples. But hurry, don't drop the ball before the ball drops. Contact Jemmy today and lock in Flintstone Media's 2018 rates before the year ends. Visit flintstonemedia.com today to ignite your digital presence. That's flintstonemedia.com. And here's Jemmy's highlight.
Well, we are on our way to the Delray Beach Playhouse to see something that seriously could not be more in our wheelhouse as podcasters, aka independent radio. Do we qualify?
I really thought you were going to say because it's so old it fits me. That's what I thought you were going to say.
Well, that's another reason altogether. But it's the 1940s Radio Hour, a play with music by Walton Jones, and it's at the Delray Beach Playhouse. So it's going to be really, really cool.
It's one of our rare nighttime events.
Yeah. Which actually, during the holidays, you would think everything's at night because all the lights. But this is going to be really cool. There's going to be singing and acting and holiday stuff.
This takes place during World War II, and there's a really good promo video for it that we're going to let you hear the sound from.
Beginning November the 30th, the Delray Beach Playhouse will be presenting a sentimental journey through the years in the 1940s Radio Hour, a musical celebration of the music of World War II. Set in a small New York radio station, this charming, intimate musical recounts the staging of a wartime radio broadcast just before Christmas. We meet a small company of American singers and dancers who entertain their audiences by performing some of the most popular songs in the Great American Songbook. Songs like I'll Be Seeing You, The Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy, I'll Never Smile Again, and I've Got a Gal in Kalamazoo. The 1940s Radio Hour is a moving celebration of American courage and optimism during one of its most challenging periods, and even the radio show's commercials are authentic. For ticket information, call the Delray Beach Playhouse at 561-272-1281 or visit our website at delraybeachplayhouse.com.
We are at the Delray Beach Playhouse, and we are with the director of the show you just heard about. His name is Randolph, and he's been the director here for 36 years, we determined?
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
37, I think.
37 years. That's a long time to be directing.
Well, I've been directing a great deal longer than that. I started when I was 19 in North Carolina, so...
And you, I assume, were an actor, too, for a long time.
For about 15 years, I tread the boards.
Yeah.
I tread the boards.
You have the voice for one, that is for sure.
This is the 1940s radio hour, and you have a voice of, I mean, God, any radio station should be like knocking on your door right now.
Well, I would love to have any job for which I do not have to dress or get up early in the morning.
And that's why we do what we do.
There you are. Listen.
Seriously, this is the most stressed we've been this whole entire year.
Listen, find a place for me in the caravan, and I will join you tonight.
So tell us about the acting company here in Delray Beach.
Well, it's a community theater, which means, of course, that we are primarily here for the advantage of actors who have not chosen to go into acting professionally. People who are either working or married or students, people who, for whatever reason, have decided not to take it professionally, but they love it enough to want to continue to work at it. That's why we call them amateurs, from the Latin to love, to love what you're doing. But on the other hand, because we're in a very fortuitous situation, being in a retirement area between Palm Beach and Boca Raton, we end up with a lot of retired professional actors too. Oh, wow. People who have kind of given up their cards and just, again, want to keep their toes in. So we have a wonderful a diversity of actors, people who are just beginning to study in their university theater courses just before they go off to study in New York, and some people at the end of their careers as they just begin to enjoy acting as kind of a reminiscence of the past.
I got to tell you, that's after having done 10 years on stage, and we did improvisational theater, but it was fun to get that audience feedback immediately, and it gets in your blood, and you never want to give it up. You always want to have it. You have to have it.
There is nothing like live applause.
Oh my gosh. And I saw outside, there's like a billboard full of all your different performances. Mm-hmm. There's so many throughout the year. I mean, people can come, not just experience something like this for the holidays, but they can experience this local community theater all year round.
Yeah, we do 5 main stage productions during the main season. Then during the summer, we have a children's program. I think they do either 1 or 2, depending.
You know what I'm thinking? I have a 6-year-old. What's the minimum age on that thing?
There you are. A star is born, to coin a phrase. And then I write a series of programs we do during the year called the Musical Memory Series, which is a celebration of the various composers and lyricists who've written for Broadway. So, and there are, believe me, many more programs here that our new young executive director is bringing in. Cabaret series, afternoon programs. Really, there's no reason to leave the theater. You can just bring your futon and stay.
Tell us a little bit about the one. We played the promo trailer for this on the show just a second ago. Mm-hmm. But tell us a little bit about why you chose this particular performance for the holidays.
Well, for a variety of reasons. One, it is a celebration of the Great American Songbook. And as time goes by, to coin a phrase, I'm delighted and gratified that the Great American Songbook is continuing to hold its place. I mean, there was a time when it looked like the music of the 40s would fade away or literally be drowned out by the cacophony of rock and roll and now hip hop, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm amused to see that, old rock stars, as they decline in their years.
Yeah, they go to that songbook, don't they?
Rod Stewart put out 5 albums of the Great American Songbook. Lady Gaga
I was going to say, she teamed up with Tony Bennett.
Singing with Tony Bennett, doing wonderful old songs. So those songs have a much better chance of lasting, I think, than Justin Bieber's latest hit.
Well, they've lasted all this time.
I have faith in the human ear that it will
you look at
still
like
enjoy
Michael
melody.
Bublé, they're really taking all that stuff to the next level. It's wonderful.
I mean, if you want a satisfying musical experience, as opposed to a dance experience or to a rave experience, then you're going to have to find a song that has some sort of melodic quality to it. And you're not going to find that on Broadway today. Right. I mean, you are not going to hear Some Enchanted Evening or All the Things You Are in a show like Waitress. I mean, it's just not going to happen.
Right.
That generation has gone. And when you go to the hip hop musicals like Hamilton, they don't even know what melody is. I mean, it's all about rhythm, beat, and words. It's basically spoken song, Singspiel. So the real satisfying or the gratification that you get from a beautiful melody, something that really touches the heart, that lifts the spirit. Those songs belong now to our past. Mm-hmm. I don't see anybody writing them today.
Well, it's still good to celebrate them all the time.
Absolutely.
So are all the performances that year round, are they all musically based?
No, look at heavens.
So if you don't have a wonderful voice, you can still come and audition.
Just think I might have a chance then.
No. Our next show, we just finished doing an Agatha Christie show, a murder mystery, and our next show is a Neil Simon comedy.
Any openings for a king role? Because
I played a king for 10 years. If you ever have a king come up, let me know. I'll be down.
Well, when we revive Lion in Winter, perhaps.
There we go. Okay, good. I can grow my beard out. We'll be in good shape. And you can check our show notes to find out where you can get tickets to come to the Delray Beach Playhouse. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're about to go on the air, everyone. 5, 4, 3, 2. Live from the Algonquin room of the beautiful Hotel Astor on the lovely Times Square in New York. It's 9 o'clock in New York, and time for the Atlantic Coast Network to present WOV's Mutual Manhattan Variety Cavalcade! That's right, another sparkling hour of music and song, comedy and drama, with the tequila glasses ring. Jingle, 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 jingle. Bulletin! 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 Gingivitis attacking thousands per population! You say you haven't got gingivitis? Well, don't be too sure.
Make the Yuletide gay. Next year all our troubles will be miles away. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore.
I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you. Bye-bye and bye-bye.
Well, we just got done with the 1940s radio hour here at Delray Beach Playhouse, and I am shocked.
Guys, I continue to surprise Country Boy Glenn, and it tickles me pink every time.
The girl who I thought was into rap music and hip-hop, and that was it, was singing along to all the words of 1940s
all the words.
music.
I loved all the stuff, all the things.
You heard a little bit of it.
I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places. I love this stuff.
I was shocked. I was sitting there looking at her the whole time going,
bopping around. And then I turned to him, I said, I never told you that I used to swing dance. And he's like, what? Like, yeah, I know all this stuff. So, yeah, oh, God, it was great. I had a fantastic time. It was just, you know what was great about it? They made the audience feel like it was the audience that was part of the
radio show.
Exactly, exactly.
And having been to the Grand Ole Opry before and seen the radio show where you are the audience, it was really cool to see. And of course, for us being semi-radio people,
yes,
it was really cool.
It was really cool.
It really gave us an idea that we need to do something like that.
I know. They had Lou, a character named Lou, who was a Foley artist too. It was really
great.
neat watching him in action with all his different, especially towards the end. There was one scene where he was just pulling things out left and right and making all kinds of crazy sounds. Like, oh my gosh, this is so great. And yeah, the way that everyone was interacting and the spirit of the 40s. It was just right there in this performance. I loved it.
And they were all really good. These are community players.
Yeah.
And they could sing.
They could. The
guy who played the main character had a Sinatra voice.
I know.
Really good.
Everyone did a fantastic job. You can tell they really dedicated themselves to this craft. But yeah, well, one of my favorite parts, we talked about this almost immediately as we were walking through. We couldn't even get out of the theater. We're both like, we need to do commercials. We're like, they worked in the funniest commercials.
And apparently they were real commercials from the time, according to the playbill. So, and they work them into the show so beautifully. We need to get better at that.
That's hilarious. It was so well done.
And the Nash Rambler, the car that will be here forever.
Or maybe not.
Or maybe not. Or maybe the next 2 years.
I have a confession. I've never even heard of it. But yeah, it gave us a really great idea for especially your other gig, Glenn, for Horse Radio Network's annual radiothon. We're going to maybe do something.
Do a 40s hour, something old-time radio.
Foley sounds, a Foley artist.
We'll just put a little static in there.
Just a little.
Oh, wait a minute. We get that anyway.
Oh, we have that anyway. Yeah, that's built into the program. But yeah, we've had a fantastic time.
I had more fun than I thought I would because I'm not really into old-timey music.
And he doesn't really like things where people are singing.
Right. And I don't like old movies that are in black and white, but the nice part about this was in color.
There were people walking on the stage. It was nice.
They were in color.
They were in 3D.
Yeah, exactly.
Funny that. So congratulations to Randy and the whole cast and crew. You guys nailed it. You knocked it out of the park. Go to the Delray Beach Playhouse. Check out their full calendar, but definitely Holidays 2019, check out what they got going on. I don't know if it'll be this or not. I hope so. Crossing my fingers. Check out Delray Beach Playhouse.
And here's Glenn's highlight.
And I had another rocking experience that I didn't expect to have. And that was that was at Jemmy's church. Now, you have to understand, I grew up Catholic. And when I was growing up Catholic, there were masses that maybe were starting to have a guitar. Otherwise, it was the organ, that was it, or piano maybe. If you were a progressive church, you had a piano. But otherwise, it was pretty Catholic mass. And and then she says, "Oh, I'm going to church tomorrow. Do you want to go along?" And I thought, well, why not? That sounded like fun. So I didn't expect what I got.
Let me tell you. So I am Episcopalian, and Episcopalians, we're like Catholic light, okay?
No, Lutherans are Catholic light. You guys are like Catholic light. We're
with the wine, without the guilt, with tons of casserole, and we know how to have
a rock and roll band, apparently.
Oh my gosh. Let me tell you. So I go to St. Joseph's Episcopal Church. It's in Boynton Beach. I love this place. And we do have a service that's very similar to the more traditional Catholic service that you just described. But the service I go to with Jordon and the one I took you to is called Unplugged. And that is led by our music leader, Charles Milling, who is a dear, dear friend of mine and also is Jordon's godfather. And so we had a great time.
He was the guitarist?
He's the guitarist, the band leader, the guitarist. And another reason I really, really, really wanted to get you there, Glenn, was so I have a little bit of a gripe, but not too much, but a little bit. I'm still sore, but it's okay. I had to miss out on a wonderful evening with my son because Glenn forced me to come to Ocala for a little tradition he has on the Horse Radio Network called Radiothon. It was awesome, actually, guys. It was a lot of fun. So it was I got to be a producer on that. I'm not complaining, really, but it fell on the exact same date as a friend of mine who has gone off touring now. His name is Nat Stokes. He's touring now with Black Violin. He was part of the band at my church for years, and Jordon grew up loving him. So so he was excited. My parents actually took him to the show that I had to miss. Thank you, Glenn. Took him to that show. But I was like, Glenn, he's coming back to play with the band this time. You got to come. So you got to not just see Charles and the rest of the band, you got to see Nat too. That was pretty special.
Yeah, this was definitely a kicked up mass than what I'm used to.
Yeah, I mean, our bass guitarist Richie used to play with you may have heard of him. His name is Stevie Wonder. So, yeah.
I mean, they were really good. They actually were really good. They could tour themselves.
Yeah, our percussionist is in a reggae band. So anyways, yeah, I'm so glad you got to come. And
the female singer was really good too.
Yeah, Chantal.
She's really good.
She goes with her name, right?
Thing and has this great big voice. Yeah.
Yeah, she's fantastic. So the whole band, Bob, the keyboardist, is phenomenal as well. The whole band they kicked it up a notch with Nat in town, especially. So you came on a perfect day.
I think it really brought me because JoJo during the service didn't want to have anything to do with you, and
he was
all over me. He didn't want anything to do with Mom.
That was so cute. So yeah, I'm so glad that you came, and we have a little bit of a sampling of the sound from that day.
Well, it was fun, and I could actually see myself going to that church.
Yay!
Yeah, I really could.
Anytime you're in town, you're now coming. I'm just letting you know. You just signed yourself
up. And the dress code was really nice too, like shorts and t-shirts and.
Yeah, you're all worried. I'm like, seriously, flip flops and shorts are like normal.
It was definitely a Florida beach church.
We actually have literally had services on the beach. This is a true story.
It was really nice, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you for that. And you know what? It is what the season's supposed to be all about, right? I mean, that's where it started. So
that's true.
So, and we are only a week or two away. Well, we, after that, went and had some lunch, and then we headed over to one of the largest trees, Christmas trees in all the state of Florida, if not the entire country.
I mean,
it's
massive.
It's 100 feet tall. Think about that. That's 10 stories tall. Mm-hmm. And it really was. I don't know how long it takes them to put this thing up. It's not real, people.
Let me tell you, though, you're able to go inside. And when we went inside, I stood in the middle of it and looked straight up. You know that problem I have with heights? That I get vertigo? Apparently it happens when my feet are firmly planted on the ground and I'm just looking up at something really tall like that because I got
it's a steel structure that they have, then the tree stuff over top. But it must take them forever. It's like a huge erector set. I mean, it's enormous.
It's enormous.
It really is. So it was fun inside the tree. They actually have some things too, which I think we talked a little bit about with your son in a recording we did while standing inside a 100-foot tree.
Well, we have finally made it to one of the best known Christmas trees in all the land. This is the 100-foot Christmas tree here in Delray Beach at Old School Square. And this is the 25th anniversary of this Christmas tree, which means it is now officially like a tradition for families because this is multi-generational. So we're very excited to be here. And not only are we at the tree, where are we, JoJo?
We are at Santa's workshop.
It's like Santa's workshop. We are in the tree.
It's big in here, inside the tree. And tell us what else is in here. What else does Santa use on Christmas that's in here?
There's also like all the reindeer.
That's right. All the reindeer in here.
They
have a stable in here for the reindeer.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And what's awesome is this is actually co-sponsored by one of our former, one place that we formerly visited, the Silver Ball Museum, which was part of our, I think it was part of our Geek versus Gamer episodes. Yeah. And what's neat is
JoJo
they're
was
actually.
with us there?
Yeah.
I was.
He's actually giving away, they're actually giving away a pinball machine, which is so cool. So there's prizes to be won, and you fill out the form and you put it into a letterbox for Santa. And so that's just a really, really cool atmosphere.
On the phone.
Tell us about
the phone booth.
Santa just says, sorry, but please don't be bad and just be good. We're busy making toys. And I'm sitting here eating cookies and milk. Now just have a happy.
I could eat some cookies and milk.
I could too. I'm waiting.
Now just have a happy Christmas year and bye-bye.
Well, it's actually neat.
Wait a minute,
because,
I have an important question. Jojo, have you been good?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Well, I think you should be asking me the question, not the kid. But yeah, this is actually really cool because this 100-foot Christmas tree, it's iconic, but
Jojo said it's bigger than me.
it is way bigger than you. But it is, the lighting of this Christmas tree takes place, it's kind of kicks off their whole celebration here. And they have a litany of events going on at downtown Delray throughout the entire holiday season. You know, the boat parade, lighting of a menorah, they have cookie cruises and all kinds of stuff. But what's neat about all that stuff, you can find that in almost every town in Florida.
Every town. Ocala has them. You know, every town has them.
Yeah. So
which is why we wanted to include something like this.
Exactly. So we go out and we go experience what's going on right in our own backyards for the holidays. But guess what? Everybody who's listening, you guys can too experience that exact same treat. Go find your own 100-foot Christmas tree. It might not really be that 100 feet, but I'm sure there's something spectacular. Like in West Palm, they have the sandy tree, the 700-ton sand tree. You know, there's different trees everywhere and different celebrations. We can all find our own holiday magic in our own backyards.
Wait, I got something to say. So, just that we're just here for a reason that I already know. And it's the reason that...
The reason is the season?
No. It's the reason that, like, Christmas is about to come and Christmas is my favorite holiday.
Is it?
Is it? What do you look forward to the most for Christmas, Jordan?
Getting coal in my stocking.
No, you don't.
Getting presents! Snap! Getting presents! Snap!
I took care of the coal, though. I got that for him.
How dare you? How dare you, Glenn?
Well, that was such a fun way for us to kick off celebrating the holidays. I know Jordan and I have so many fun things to look forward to down here. But one of the things that we love to get into is the tradition of giving back. And that's something that everyone can do in celebrating the holidays. And I just want to remind everybody about an opportunity to do just that with a little charity I love called Little Smiles.
This holiday season, why not give the gift that keeps giving back? Little Smiles is a South Florida nonprofit organization that helps heal hearts and create little smiles, providing necessities, gifts, and fun activities to children impacted by serious illness, homelessness, or tragedy. And now through December 25th, you can donate to Little Smiles' 9th annual Little Smiles Toy Drive. Every year, Little Smiles seeks to break the boundaries of their mission to help every child in need during the holiday season. And this year's efforts have officially kicked off. Little Smiles has become the main source to many Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, and Broward County nonprofit organizations, collecting thousands of toys from more than 300 locations and donating them to kids who would not have holiday gifts otherwise. The Little Smiles North Pole is now open to collect toys and receive your donations. Visit littlesmilesfl.org for more information on the toy drive, their upcoming Stars Ball event, volunteer opportunities, and how to support Little Smiles and local children in need. That's littlesmilesfl.org. littlesmilesfl.org.
Well, now it's time for that time of the show where we wrap things up and talk about what we did, what went right, what went wrong.
Oh, phew. For a second there, I thought you were about to torture us with like a rendition, a hip-hop rap rendition of it.
No,
like,
not that kind of rap.
No.
You don't want to hear that from me. So, this was a different one for us because we actually did this over a couple of days and we weren't as stressed as we normally are. So it was kind of nice. It was nice. It actually felt like we were more in the holiday mode because we did do it over a couple of days.
Well, yeah, kind of had to because everything mostly you do for the holidays.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was in the evening, so we couldn't really do some of the stuff when it wasn't happening. So, but it was nice for me. It was nice because so many of ours are go all day, and then go the next day. That this was just relaxing. We even had time to go shopping for Christmas presents for your son, and
I know, and you helped us decorate.
I did. I helped decorate. I mean, it was nice. It was a nice time just doing what we did. Now, there were a couple things we had planned to do that didn't work out so good. And, that's true of anybody who goes on vacation, though.
Especially during the holidays.
You have plans for vacation, and then something happens. A kid gets sick or whatever happens. Your car breaks down or just...
You look suspicious, and they won't let you pass the gate.
Yeah. Yeah, like trying to get in and then deciding that paying $300 for dessert probably wasn't the wisest move with our money. So,
that was just the parking.
Yeah, exactly. So serendipity never happened. And then another thing, we were supposed to go to Santa's Enchanted Forest down in Miami, and we had an emergency come up, and we just couldn't go.
I know, and I was really looking forward to it because my brother and I were able to take Jordon last year, and he loved it. I was like, oh, Glenn's got to see this, but it happens.
I wanted to get you on a roller coaster, but that didn't happen.
I know. But thank you to them so much for, offering to let us be a part of their celebration this year. So anybody who doesn't know about Santa's Enchanted Forest, go check it out.
And we'll try and do it next year. It was just, and again, it's one of those things that happens on vacation. Emergencies happen. Things happen.
But we did have a lot of fun in everything that we did get to do. Yeah.
We did.
And one of the things that the holidays does is they bring people back together again, and we got to go revisit Monica and our friends at the Bonnet House, and that was such a nice place to go.
And they remembered us from before.
I know. Well, to be honest, I'm not quite sure Richard remembered us right away, but as soon as he heard our act, once he heard us recording live video, he's like, oh yeah, that's right.
Those people.
Those guys.
I think, for me, meeting people when we do this is always a whole lot of fun. And of course, we met the director at Delray. But,
gosh. And captured his voice.
Yes, he had a great
giving
voice.
Us a little promo.
Yes.
That was a little bonus.
Yes.
Let's use that
for me, the British couple we met at Bonnet House, and we could have talked to them all day. They had stories all day long. But they were we ended up talking to them for probably 45 minutes.
It is really amazing when you talk to people who are from other countries and get their perspective on little old Florida, our little neck of the world.
They were here traveling around looking at big houses. And I'm like, you live in England. Yeah. We have the biggest houses in the world. But they were fun, and they saw our shirt. And that's what she called us over, because she saw our shirts, which has happened more times than not.
It's true. And then you got some travel tips for them for your upcoming vacation.
Yes, we're going to England next year. So it was fun. It was fun to do this one. I really enjoyed the whole thing, and I really enjoyed the pace of this whole thing. But that'll change come January when we're back to normal.
Gosh, I know. It's going to be insane again. But that leads us to our next adventure, which we've just kind of started putting a little bit of the touches on. What's the next adventure going to be involved?
We're heading to Crystal River, which is on the Gulf Coast.
Yes.
It's between here in Ocala and Tampa. It's going to
be
on the Gulf
our
Coast.
First time really enjoying that part of Florida.
And there's a lot to do. I hope they take us to Wiki Wachi, which is the place for the mermaids, and it's been there for 1,000 years. And every tourist before Disney, that's the thing they did, is they went to Wiki Wachi.
Now, I don't think they have a topless event at the Wiki Wachi show like they did at the Ocean. And you're all disappointed we missed out on that. But I don't think... You know what, though? I think, Glenn, you're going to be so happy to know that on this trip, I won't be putting my face in a dog's face. I'll be putting my face in a manatee's face, I hope, right?
That's right. Manatees are part of this trip for sure, because they hang out there that time of year.
It's the one place you can actually touch them and not get in trouble.
Yeah, and
I'm pretty excited.
I think they're planning all kinds of stuff for us, and they're excited to have us down. So, and there's a really neat place that I want to take you when we're down there too, because it does involve a lot of animals. So.
Oh, I can't wait. And a couple of our friends are going to try to meet us out a part of this trip. Steve and Stephanie, and you guys might remember them a little bit from our Tampa adventure. They met us out there, and Steve
right?
They have a boat. They're part of a boat club. So hopefully they can get the boat club wrangled into our ridiculousness. But yeah, Steve took some awesome photos for us at that trip. So go there. It's findingfloridapodcast.com and check out his pictures. Hoping they can meet us out there. It'll be a lot of fun. But I can't wait to see manatees. I'm so excited.
And then we do know in February you're coming back to Ocala, and we're finally going to do Ocala where I live.
I know.
It's the heart of horse time here in Ocala. In February, all the horses are in. The shows have started again, and we're really in the heart of show time. So that episode will involve horses for sure.
I cannot wait. I am so excited to see you on a bunkie bronco. That's going to happen, right? That's going to happen.
Yeah,
you're going to jump into some rodeo action or something.
I break things just falling off a tram. So yeah. All right, that's it, everybody. everybody, thank you so much for joining us for another adventure. And we hope that you visit parts of the state that you haven't seen before. Remember, that's the reason we do this show, is to highlight things that you can do literally within an hour to 4-hour drive from where you live.
And so much just literally right in your backyard, and you can find all the episodes that talk about what we've done and what we've discovered in our first year and then some now, all at findingfloridapodcast.com. See all the pictures. We have so much fun doing this, and we just really want to inspire you to do the same. And if you have any ideas, you can drop us an email at Jemmy, spelled Jaime, at floridapodcastnetwork.com, or Glenn, Glenn, at floridapodcastnetwork.com.
We want to hear your ideas, too. If you want us to come to your town, if you have a great idea for your town, if you're very proud of where you live, then drop us an email and, we'll talk about it and put it in the calendar.
That's right. It's starting to fill up for 2019. We have some really cool things coming down the pipeline, so we cannot wait. But yeah, our show is on iTunes, all the podcast catchers. Tell your friends and connect with us on social media. You can find us by just looking up at Find FL Podcast, and you can join our group of Florida Podcast Network super fans on Facebook by looking up FPN Insiders. So we look forward to interacting with you all over the interwebs, but for now,
we wish you a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and here's to your next Florida adventure.